Hi everyone, this is Mary from SVG Cuts, and I'm going to show you how to make the new jelly bag. This is made out of all paper, and I cut the pieces out with my personal cutting machine, which happens to be a Cricut Maker, but this also works with any personal electronic cutting machine that cuts SVG files. So SVG files are the format that all of our designs come in. Everything you see here plus way more, they all come in digital format, in SVG file format, and that works with the Cricut Maker and Explore machines, the Brother Scan and Cut machine, the Silhouette Cameo machine, some others, the Sizzix Eclipse, which is discontinued, still growing, some others, the Black Cat Cutter, the Janome Artistic Edge. Some of you guys are using those too. So my point is that they work with quite a few different machines and software, and this video is starting with you've already cut your pieces out. This project, I've cut it out in 5 different colors here, and this project is made up of just one piece of 12 by 12 paper, and then there's another sheet of paper that has some panels on it, which makes it look the way it looks here and extra nice and finished off. However, if you want to keep it super simple, super quick, you want to cut out just the one piece, glue it together, boom, you're done. It's going to look almost just like this. So it depends on what you're in the mood for. So to make your jelly bag look shimmery, the way that mine looks shimmery, which I think is a really realistic and extra effect, you can use shimmer paper, which you can find at most craft stores. However, I was having a hard time finding colorful shimmer paper at my local Michael's, my local Hobby Lobby, as well as online. I looked on Amazon, scrapbook.com, cherryontop.com, 12by12cardstock.com, I think. They may have some stuff, but I kind of needed it a little quicker than that when I was doing this. So anyway, long story short, instead of using shimmer paper, I decided to use liquid pearls, which is something that comes in a little squeeze tube. It's by Ranger, and normally I would just dot it on a project to make little pearl looking dots. However, for this, I squeezed some out and I brushed it on using a water brush, which is just a paintbrush, but it's a brush that's attached to a tube of water, so it stays moist and your brush doesn't dry out while you're spreading the liquid pearls on the panels before you put them on your project. So the other supplies that are necessary to make this the way that I made mine is a bone folder. You may or may not have one. You could substitute a ruler or a pencil probably, but if you're going to be doing a bunch of crafting and you don't have a bone folder, they are a couple bucks at the craft store and they come in handy for creasing and curving, which is what I did with it for this project. Other than that, that's really it. So let's go ahead and get started. So to show you the parts of the project, this is the main part of the bag here. It just cuts out a one piece of 12 by 12 paper. And then there are 4 panels. There are 2 sides that are the same. And then the front and the back, which are also the same. All of our designs come with a PDF menu document. So this one does, just like the rest of them. You can always check out the shapes for your project in the PDF menu document, which you can look at on a device or you can print out and keep it, put it in a binder. That's what I like to do. So it includes some helpful information, diagrams, the shapes. It's just handy dandy. So I'm going to set this part aside and focus on these 4 panels here. So you can certainly do whatever you want. I thought it would be really cool to add a shimmer effect to this project to make it look more realistic. So I could have cut these out of some shimmer paper for that effect. However, I was having a hard time finding shimmer paper that was in the colors that I wanted, especially in person at my local craft store, such as Michael's and Hobby Lobby, which is where I shop in person for craft supplies. So I tried an alternate technique that I learned from Ranger on their YouTube channel. So what I did was I found some liquid pearls It's a product by Ranger. Comes in a little squeeze bottle like this. I have quite a few more. And I've used these in the past just to make little pearl dots on a project. So if you just dot it and it dries, it looks like little pearls. So I've used this one quite a bit, and I have a red one that I've used before. But when I wanted to make my jelly bag, I got a bunch more colors, and I got them at Michael's. So for my project today, this one is pretty darn close to my paper color. So I'm going to be using that one. And then what I had tried at first was just a regular paintbrush, and it got all rigid and sticky, and it kind of ruined my paintbrush within 30 seconds of trying to brush this on. So what I found, thanks to the Ranger YouTube channel video, was using a water brush. So the one that they used was by Tim Holtz, I believe. But when I went to my local Michael's, this was the brand that I was able to find. So it's by Niji. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but it's a water brush. So I guess there are a few different brands out there. This one I have already used, so it's kind of stained pink. But this 3-pack, it comes with a fine tip, a wide tip, and then a medium. I'm going to use the medium today. I actually gave the wide tip to my daughter. She's almost 2, and she has some of those Water Wow coloring things, and I thought she'd have fun using a different kind of water brush than the one that comes with it. So this is my water brush. It's just a brush that you twist it open, you put some water inside, water goes in there, and then the water comes out of the brush. Take the cap off. You can squeeze it to make the water come out a little bit more, or not. I'm going to grab a paper towel. So I think it's handy to have perhaps a paper towel or even a baby wipe, just to kind of wipe off the brush as you're going. I don't know if this is necessary or not, but here's my baby wipe up here. And what I'm going to do is just distribute this a little bit on here, and then use the water brush to even it out. So I'm going to work in some small sections, maybe the wide parts first or the fine parts first. I don't know. See if the water's coming out. So if I just use this to spread it around and make it even before it starts to dry, I'm going to get a really cool effect. It takes a little bit of time, so I think if you were going to make quite a few of these, it might be a good idea to just find some shimmer paper, maybe online. But as you can see, it's shiny. So I think that makes it look more realistic. So all I'm going to do is just work my way around this project, distributing the liquid pearls with my water brush. It's kind of satisfying. And of course, you don't have to make your project shiny. And if you're skipping this part, then this project is extremely quick to assemble. So it's up to you what you want to do. But if you wanted to make it shiny with liquid pearls, this is how to do it. So thanks, Ranger. Very helpful and informative. You can see nice and shiny, and even when it dries, it stays that shiny even after it dries. So when I see a little part that's kind of getting gloppy, I guess that's when I sort of wipe off my brush on the baby wipe and then kind of even it out. So as far as these little interior parts go, you can be as tedious as you want, or as meticulous, I should say, as you want. But this is how I did my original projects, and it took me a little bit of trial and error to kind of get the feel for it. But like I said, if you're in the mood to do something creative and crafty, it is kind of satisfying. I'm going to squeeze it a little bit to kind of keep it clean. I think I'm over applying it right there. But I think you're getting the idea if you want to do the same thing. It's getting nice and shiny. So I really like the way that that effect looks. Because it does make it look realistic. Might be a good idea to do the fine interior parts first. That way, when you do the large parts at the end, it is definitely nice and smooth. So it might seem like a lot to do, but that went pretty quick. I got the inside done. I'm gonna do the rest of the insides and then finish up with the outsides. Looking good. This is a really nice technique to have under your belt and just to know about in case there's an element of a project that you want to make shiny or shimmery and you have a specific color in mind. Maybe you don't have shimmer paper, or maybe you're having a hard time finding solid core shimmer paper, which means that the paper is a solid color all the way through, which always looks better when you're cutting a shape out with a cutting machine. If the center of the paper is white, it just has a tendency to not look so great on the edges. If the edges are white. So I don't know if there's white core shimmer paper out there, but that could be a factor too. So it's just nice to have a new technique. Sometimes a little bit of shimmer is a lovely thing. Okay, so the insides are looking good. So it looks like everything is shimmery except for right here. And then all I'm going to do is repeat this process for the other panels, the other three. And let them dry. So I'll just do the same thing for both of these sides, and then the other piece that looks just like this, and let them dry. Next, I'm going to take the main piece of the bag here, and I'm going to fold it along these score lines here around the bottom. This is optional. You don't need to use this device to flatten your fold, but if you want to, you can. It's called a bone folder, I believe, because it used to be made out of bone. So sounds like a pretty ancient paper crafting tool. So these just get folded like that. I would like a nice sharp crease there, so I will use something like the bone folder to crease it a little sharper. Just like that. So next, the thing we're going to do next, this is kind of optional, and I feel like you could use this tool or you could use some kind of a straight edge probably, but the project itself is curved on all four sides, and I think it's a good idea to go ahead and curve it a little bit so you can see that's curved. Not only is it going to go together a little bit easier, it'll be easier for you, and it's just going to look a little nicer and be easier to work with. Instead of, I feel like it kind of eliminates a little bit of struggling when you're putting it together to make it go ahead and go in the right direction. So I'm going to do that to all four sides, just carefully. It's pretty easy to do. And there you have it. I'm going to go ahead and do that to these panels also. You could probably get away with using a pen, pencil, ruler if you don't have a bone folder and you don't want to get one. If you are bone folderless and you're going to be shopping for one, I believe this is a Fiskars brand bone folder. It's got some dried glue and gunk on it. Sorry about that. This one is a Martha Stewart brand bone folder that came with a scoring board that I have, and if you have to choose, I would choose the larger, thicker, sturdier one. It's just going to be more functional. I'm not sure why. I have that one for emergencies. When I can't find my main bone folder, then I can get my secondary bone folder out until I can find the other one. You know what I'm saying? I bet some of you guys know what I'm saying. I don't even know what I'm saying. Okay, so I'm just doing the same thing here. And nice and curved, ready to be affixed to the bag momentarily. Okay, so it's not super curved, but it's curved enough to make my life easier when it's time to glue that onto the project. So next, I'm going to fold over each of these little tabs. Very easy, very straightforward. And I'm actually going to be gluing them onto the outside of my project, and then they'll be covered up by those 4 panels. Well, just by 2 of them. So that way it's nice and easy. The inside looks nice. Both bonuses, as opposed to gluing them on the inside of the project. Of course, if you're making the project without the panels, you would glue the tabs on the inside of the project. This is a really quick project as far as assembling it goes. Get my handy glue out. I like this Scotch Create tacky glue myself. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these onto the outside of the project by just putting a dot of glue on each one. And gluing it on. The top of this tab lines up with the top there. So as you can see, this here lines up with that. So if you want to glue that first and then the rest of them sort of fall into place, they go on side to side to form one big seam. Just like this. Easy peasy. Gotta love that. So same thing on all 4 of these seams. Very easy, straightforward. And the icing on the cake is the shimmery panels. Okay, so there's the 4 seams. Bag looks super cool except for being able to see those tabs, but still pretty stinking cool. Now it's just time to glue the panels onto the bag to finish it off. It's gonna look good. So I'm basically just gonna put glue on the large areas of this. I'm not gonna worry about all the little interior details, because not only is it not necessary, but I think that would be pretty challenging, unnecessary, and it would have a tendency to get kind of messy and come out the edges. And so for all those reasons, I'm just going to put glue on these larger areas like so. And if you feel like it and you want to, use some craft tweezers, regular tweezers, whatever. I've had these for quite some time in my little stash of crafting tools. I'm not sure if they're still available or if a lot of people use them, if you use them. They're called Tweezer Bee. I got them over 10 years ago, at least. So for something like that, that was handy having those tweezers instead of trying to hold it, because I was able to see what I was doing a little bit better and kind of manipulate it right into position. So the nice thing about having the shiny, shimmery panels is that if my glue dries on my project where it's visible and it's shiny, it's not a problem because everything is so shiny. Bonus, I like it. So there's that. Okay, so that's looking mighty fine. Glue this on here. Jelly bag coming together. Oh yeah. Okay, so the side panels, and then that's it. Kind of loving this whole tweezer thing. I should have been doing this more often a long time ago. It's like a superpower. Oh, my glue's getting everywhere, but it's fine. All right, looking good. Oh, snap. Okay, final panel coming in hot. Right there. Yay. Well, I guess Winnie's not making an appearance this time, which was probably for the best. I don't really want cats and puffy paint in the same area. But she's good. She's right over there, napping. Winnie, say hi. And meow. Oh. She had a little sneeze attack, and I was getting worried about her, but she's all better. Okay, pretty cool. Jelly bag. So there you have it. That's the new jelly bag. I really love this project because it strikes a chord of nostalgia within me for sure, because it reminds me of the bag that my mom would always take to the pool or the beach back in the 80s when I was a kid. It's just a fun memory, and I think they're so fun and so playful, and I love how colorful they can be. So I hope you have a wonderful time making yours. If you do, I would love to see a picture on social media, however you like to share. I really do always love to see. I'm having a hard time keeping up with commenting on some of your posts, but eventually I will. It's tough with a toddler because I want to spend as much time as I can with her. She's growing up so fast, and I feel like every day she's a completely new person. So it's a little tough for me to keep up with you guys, but I love you so much, and thank you for posting your project photos for everyone to see, and for all the kind words and comments and all that good stuff. Whether you've been a fan for a while, since 2008 when I started doing this, or if you're more recent, thanks for tuning in. It means a lot to me. I'll catch you next time, and happy crafting.
How's the car coming?
Oh, there's our cart.